My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of thy pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside let freedom reign. Long, long time ago, our great-great-great-great-grandfathers came over to America by boat. Came over to start a new country in a land that no one had ever seen and not too many people had heard of. Soon there were more people coming over, all coming by boats, big boats, little boats, boats not merely as large as the boats we see today, boats with big sails on them and no engines, because in those days they had not heard of motors for boats. This was the beginning of this great land of ours, the land we now call America, or the United States of America.
And for more than 400 years, people from all over the world have been coming to America. So many people that today America has over 180 million people within its borders. It takes a lot of work to make a country as big as ours. It takes a lot of building, a lot of railroads, a lot of airplanes, and it takes a lot of people working together to make a country as big as ours. A strong country, a country that can do a lot and make a lot, and a country that is a happy, peaceful country.
But like many countries and nations, our country did not always have an easy time of it. And there were many problems that our country had as it grew up, just as each of us have problems as we grow up. We had to, before we even got started as a country, fight for our country so that we could make a new country that we would call the United States of America. This first fight was called the Revolutionary War, a war between the people who lived in America and the government of England, of Great Britain. It was during this war that our first famous president came to be known, George Washington. General Washington was the man who led our army into the fight against England and won. For America, freedom. Freedom to start our own country and become the United States.
And then, after we became a country, we had other problems. Problems, for example, with each other, and problems between the states that made up the United States of America. One of our first problems after we became a nation came about in 1812, about 150 years ago, and almost 40 years after we became the United States of America.
Once again, we were fighting with England, this time to preserve our country, to keep it a country of happy people and a country that was to be strong and growing. It was during this war that a man by the name of Francis Scott Key wrote a very famous song, the song that is now our national anthem, the song that we sing almost every day in school, the StarSpangled Banner.
The Star-Spangled Banner is a song that should help us to remember how much our country means to us. A song that was written by a man who felt, as he saw our flag, the gladness that came as he knew we were still fighting for our country and not defeated.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous night o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave? Most of us know the first of this song, but not many of us remember the second verse. But the second verse tells a story about how free men shall always fight to keep themselves free, about the fact, knowing we are right, we will always fight to keep our homes and country safe from harm. Oh, thus be it ever, when free men shall stand between their loved home and grim war's desolation, blessed with victory and peace, may the heaven-rescued land praise the power that has made and preserved us a nation. Then conquer we must, for our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God is our trust, and the star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Have you ever noticed that on our money we have printed a slogan that appears in this song? If you'll look, you'll see the motto: in God is our trust. And it is this faith that has made us one of the strongest nations today.
But there's more, much more. It was not too long ago, after we had fought with England and after we had heard of the Star-Spangled Banner, that we had to fight again. And this time it was between ourselves. This was a war that we usually call the Civil War. It was called the Civil War because it was fought by people like you and me against each other. And it was during this war that we heard of another great president, Mr. Abraham Lincoln.
Mr. Lincoln tried as best he could to prevent people from fighting with each other, but some of the states that made up our United States were already so mad at each other that they began to fight. It was during this war that we heard another song that is now famous, a song that was sung by the people in the South that were fighting against the people in the North. I'll bet you remember the song Dixie, don't you? Well, if you'll turn the record over, we can all sing the song together.
All right, now turn the record over and we'll hear more about this great land of ours.
Oh, I wish I was in the land of cotton. Old times there are not forgotten. Look away, look away, look away, Dixieland.
Here was a song that was made famous many years ago, and a song that is still sung by young and old alike today. It's just another song that has made our country famous, this great land of ours.
It was just about this time that many people were traveling west, out to the states we now call California, looking for new homes, land, and in some cases, gold. In those days, people traveled by covered wagons, horses, and donkeys. Some even walked much of the way. But our country was growing so fast that people wanted to find more land and new homes. And there was only one way to go, west.
I can remember the time I went west. Took my whole family with me. Hitched up a wagon with a team of horses and took off. We followed the sun each day. Didn't have any roads, just kept on going. Pretty soon, we wound up in what looked like a big prairie. And straight up ahead, there were mountains. Big, tall mountains. Mountains that we couldn't have climbed with our horses if we'd had to. And so we just camped right there, looking up at the mountains and the sky, and we called it home.
And that's the way a lot of people did it. Just rode and rode until they decided to stop. And pretty soon, there were wagon trains with many families, all riding in their wagons or on horses, all going west.
Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam and the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day.
After our country got pretty big, and there were a lot more people in it, we had more problems. Problems like another big war that we helped to fight across the ocean. They called this one the First World War. And they said it would be a war to end all wars. But they were wrong. It didn't end all wars, because we had a second war, and they called that one the Second World War. And we fought that war across the oceans too.
But each time we felt as though we had to fight, we were doing the same thing that we did a long time ago when we fought with England and Mr. Key wrote the StarSpangled Banner. We were fighting to keep our homes and families free and safe.
That's right. And if we ever get to the point where we feel as though our families and homes are again going to be in danger, I'm sure we will fight again.
We know that this great land of ours, America, is the finest country in the world, a country that has given to most of us the life we want to live, the homes that we live in, the food that we eat, and the freedom to do as we wish as long as we live like the others. This great land of ours is indeed, as the song says, our sweet land of liberty.
My country, 'tis of thee, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. My native country, the land of the mobile free, thy name I love. I love thy rocks and rills, thy woods and templed hills, my heart with right